Hello. Are you live? Are you live? Can you hear me? Can I have a peek? Hello. I can see. Okay, the network is clear. I hope it stays. I guess you're the only one. Hello. Hi. Hello. Yep, I can see. Precious. Hello. Precious, you're welcome. Who else is with us? Am I audible? Can you hear me? Can you give me a like? Can you give me a like? Precious. Good afternoon, Precious. You're welcome. You're welcome, Precious. Happy Sunday to you. Hi. Okay, we are not going to take too much time, but we are waiting for the others to come in. Four Square, Akofure, you're welcome. Precious Wealth, thank you for joining in. We are waiting for the others. I think we should call this Rhema afternoon. Rhema afternoon, right? It's no longer night, is it? Can you give me a thumbs up? Thank you. Okay. Akwewe, thank you for coming. Akwewe, thank you. Victory Clements, thank you. I see you guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Precious. Good afternoon, Akwewe. Good afternoon, Victory Clement. Thank you. As you come in, just give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have 5 more minutes. Choma Precious, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, it appears this hour is the network is quite okay. Peace Ihenacho. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys. 4 minutes into when we commence today's exercise. But we're not going to spend too much time. No, just 4 minutes. 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, I assured them that we'll start by 3, and before 4, we'll be done. Okay. So, in a few minutes, 3 minutes, we'll begin. And we have two sections for today's live stream: English, or the phonology of English. Akwewogene Kutugo. You're welcome. We have two sections. Okay, let me tell you what. Since you're privileged to be part of the early viewers, I'll let you know that we have two sections for this evening's area of concentration. Okay, we have two sections. The first section, we're going to run through the course content briefly. We're going to run through the course content. We have 2 more minutes before we commence, but just to let you know that it's into two sections. Okay, the first section is the course content. You know, I'm not the only one taking this course, right? Professor Ogwana is also taking this course. So I need to run through the course content with you and let you know some specific areas that I did not touch, but I know will come out in exam. It always comes out every year. So you need to hang on till the end of this stream for you to be able to get be well informed about what we should be expecting in the examinations. I think it's coming up on the 1st of April, or is it 2nd of April now? Okay, we have just a minute more for others to join in. I have just 1 minute for others to join in to this live stream. 1st of April, Precious Elue, thank you. All right. 1st of April, we'll have a phonology of English. And I want to assure you that if you pay close attention to what I'm going to be saying this afternoon, I don't believe you write this exam again. No, I don't. Gift Esosa, thank you for coming in. K, how will I pronounce your name now? Katu. KG, Gon KG. K Gon KG. Welcome. Are we all education students here? We don't have arts. Favor or Onagbete Favor. Samudiame, you're welcome. Okay, it is 3 o'clock, and I don't want to do Nigerian time. No, mm-mm. I don't want to do African time. No, if you come late, you come late. If you miss out. So tell your friends and let them know that we have started today's live session. Now, formally, I want to formally welcome everybody to today's live session, and it is on the phonology of English. The phonology of English, which I presume is ENG 302, if I'm not mistaken, ENG 302. Now, before we all came in, I was explaining to the early birds that we have two sessions for today's live stream. The first session, I'm going to run you through the course content because I'm not the only one teaching this course. So you want to pay attention. You want to take out your pen, take out your paper, and take note of the entire course content. Now, the second session is exact areas that you should focus on. The exact areas that you should focus on. I don't believe in students reading everything. Okay, I guide you into understanding where you're going to focus on as you study and prepare for the phonology of English. So I'm going to begin with the first session, which is what is phonology? What is phonology? How is it different from phonetics? How is phonology different from phonetics? Okay, that's what we started with. And I explained to your junior colleagues in 200 level that phonetics is different from phonology because one is general, the other is particular. Thank you for writing your math numbers. Thank you. So that I will know who exactly I'm talking to. Your names and your math numbers. Thank you. And I'll remember that you were part of today's live stream. Okay. Okay, tell your class rep to put the link, share the link to your friends, and tell Chinedu or Elijah to put it on their class platform. Put it on the class platform because I don't know whether everybody is aware of this hour's live stream. So we started off with what is phonetics and phonology. And I said, like I said earlier on, phonology is particular to a language where we look at the structuring, we look at the patterning of sound as different from phonetics, that we just look at the characterization and characteristic features of human speech sound making. Okay, secondly, we looked at the history of phonology. We looked at the history of phonology. Intermittently, I'll be dropping some signposts. Okay, so don't just say you are going to the end, that you wait to the end. No, I'll be dropping some signposts for you to take note of that will guide you and help you in your personal studies. Okay, so we had a difference between phonetics and phonology. We have the history of phonology, and I want to remind you that when we talk about the history of phonology, your mind should go to the Prague School of Phonology. The Prague School of Phonology. Okay, Prague is in the Czech Republic. Okay, the Prague School of Phonology, and it was then called functional phonology. Okay, so when you want to talk about the history of phonology, you should begin from the Prague School of Phonology. So we looked at all of that in our class, if you can recall, and we tried to establish that the linguists within this area went beyond just describing this sound to letting us know the functions of the sound. Okay, then we had the likes of Roman Jakobsen. Remember, I mentioned that in class. Amorege Queen, Choma Azuka, and move on with me. Thank you. You're all welcome. Saubo, you're all welcome. So we had the likes of Roman Jakobsen, when we had the Jakobsenian phonology. We had Nikolai Trubetskoy, where we had the Trubetskoian phonology, and we also had the likes of several other linguists that came up at this time. Okay, and Noam Chomsky and Halley got their bearing from all of them. So after looking at history of phonology, we went further to look at phonological theories. Phonological theories. Okay, when we looked at linear phonological theories and non-linear phonological theories, and we were able to establish the fact that linear phonological theories just focus on the phoneme. Okay, the focus was on the phoneme, and nonlinear focus on, when they use tiers, you use branches to explain what the phonemes, how they are structured and how they are organized. Okay, so we looked at phonological theories also, and we're able to mention some theories, okay, like generative phonology, which is our focus. Which is our focus, generative phonology. Put that, take that down. That's very important. Generative phonology is our focus. Okay. We looked at natural phonology. We mentioned, okay, not that we went deep into all of that. No. Looked at natural phonology. We looked at the markedness theory. We looked at, we mentioned optimality theory, metrical phonology, and autosegmental phonology. These last three fall under nonlinear phonological theories. Okay. Then we moved over to, um, we're now specific about degenerative phonology, and we now looked at distinctive feature theory. That is an area that you should pay close attention to. Distinctive feature theories. Distinctive feature theories. Okay, and of course, specifically, we were focused on Noam Chomsky and Halley's 1968 distinctive feature theory. Okay, we looked at Noam Chomsky and Halley's 1968 distinctive feature theory. And we made mention of the fact that um Oyema Osarabo, we hope for praise, you are welcome. We made mention of the fact that they have what we call the major class features. The major class features. Okay. And under that, we have the sonorants, plus sonorants, plus sonorants, or minus sonorants, versus plus obstruents or minus obstruents. Take note of that. Okay. Kindly take note of that. Plus sonorants or minus sonorants. Then we have plus obstruent, minus obstruent. Okay. So you need to have to take note of that. Can you give me a thumbs up, please? Guys, give me like. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Elakame is here. Hello. How are you, Khadija? Okay. Plus sonorants, they are produced as in effortlessly, with ease. Okay. Unlike minus sonorants. Okay. Plus sonorants are produced without any effort, without any stress. The voicing, that is the articulation, the orality is easy and effortless. Okay, that is for plus sonorants. Easy, effortless, plus sonorants. Put that at your mind. When you talk about something very sonorous, okay, what should come to your mind is that there's effortless voicing going on when you're producing it. Okay, that is plus sonorant. And the sounds you have there are vowels, nasals, glides. The glides are the semivowels. And liquids. The liquids are your lateral and your roll. So plus sonorants are glides, liquids, nasals, and all of the vowels. They are plus sonorants. Put that at the back of your brains. They are plus sonorants. Okay, why minus sonorants are all other sounds. Okay, so I said sonorants versus obstruents. Obstruents are produced with so much effort, so much aggression. Okay, so plus obstruents are, they are not produced effortlessly. They are produced with so much gra. Okay, plus obstruents will therefore include plosives, affricates, fricatives. Plosives, affricate, fricative. There's so much force and so much effort is put in the production of plus obstruents. So sonorants and obstruents, they are opposites. So when you say that a sound is plus sonorant, okay, it means that that sound is minus obstruent. Okay, so we have plus sonorant, minus sonorant. We have plus obstruent, minus obstruent. So Chomsky and Halley proposed these distinctive features for the distinctiveness of certain sounds. Okay, there are some features that make some sound distinct from other sounds. Okay, so his major class features are plus sonorant, minus sonorant versus plus obstruent, minus obstruent. The second major class feature is the plus consonantals. Plus consonantals. Okay, they are produced with some level of obstruction. They are your consonants. Okay, so when we describe a sound as plus consonantal, it means that that sound is minus vocalic. So vocalic is the third major class feature. So we have sonorant versus obstruent, we have consonantals, and we have vocalic, plus or minus. Okay, so it was Jacobson that really pushed this binarity of features. Okay, they pushed the binarity of features, plus or minus. Okay, so we looked at all of that, the major class features. Okay, so I'm running through, and very soon I will hit what is keeping you people here, which is the area of concentration. But I need to run through all of this course content. Okay, so you have to pay close attention to Chomsky and Halley's major class features, sonorants versus obstruent, consonantals, and vocalic. Okay, do you have any questions so far? Do you have any questions? So that when you're now doing your personal reading, you'll be recalling, or you'll be making reference back again to this video. Okay, so you have, so after the major class features, which are those three features that I said, after the major class features, then you have what we call cavity features. Cavity, they have to do with the cavity, they have to do with the teeth, they have to do with the placement of the tongue, they have to do with the operations of the lowering of the, the cavity, the oral cavity. Okay, so under these cavity features, we made mention of plus, minus, anterior. Plus, minus, anterior. Okay, thank you. No questions understood so far. Yes, syllabic is the same as vocalic. Syllabic is the same as vocalic. Okay, so if you say plus, minus syllabic, correct. If you say plus, minus vocalic, correct. You're talking about the same thing, because vocalic has to do with the nucleus, vowels, those sounds that can act as syllable nuclei. Okay, can act as syllable nuclei in a syllable. They are plus vocalic. So of course we have the syllabic consonant as plus syllabic. The syllabic consonants are plus syllabic. Okay, so moving on, we said we have the cavity features, and I mentioned plus or minus anterior. Okay, so plus or minus anterior, they are sounds that are produced at the front part of the mouth. Any sound that you feel or sense that there is an obstruction at the front part of the mouth, that sound is plus anterior. Like your bilabials, they are produced at the front part of your mouth, unlike your velar sounds that are produced at the back of the mouth. Can you see now? Okay, so plus anterior, they are those sounds that are produced at the front part of your mouth. Okay, the bilabial sound, any sound that is described as alveolar. Okay, the labials, the dental sounds, because the dental sounds are produced with the upper and lower front teeth. Okay, so they are plus anterior. Okay, they are plus anterior. All right, the others are minus anterior. So we have plus anterior as the labials, and we have the dentals, or what we call interdentals. Then we have any sound that is described as alveolar sounds, the voice and voiceless alveolar plosives, the nasal, the voice nasal alveolar, the lateral alveolar, the roll, the fricative, the voice and voiceless alveolar fricative. They are all plus alveolar. Any sound that's described as alveolar, they are plus anterior. But when it now comes to minus, when it comes to minus anterior, then we have sounds like the velar sounds or the glottal sounds. Okay, the palatal sound, they are all minus anterior. So you read all of that, at least you understand the meaning of plus anterior. When you say that a sound is plus anterior, that feature means that it's produced at the front part of the mouth. Then still under cavity features, remember I said we are in the second part of Chomsky and Halley's distinctive features. Still under cavity features, we have coronal. Coronal is when the side or the blade of the tongue is raised blade of the tongue is raised above the normal level, then we say that that sound is plus coronal sound. Okay, so we have examples like plus coronal will involve our dental sounds. Your tongue is being elevated, and you have your alveolars, you have your palatal alveolar. So when there is a lifting of the blade of the tongue above its normal position, then that sound is plus coronal. Unlike when the tongue position is at the normal level, then it is minus coronal. For example, when you want to say or b, your tongue is at the normal level. Okay, your tongue is at the normal level, so there is no, it's minus coronal. So you have plus minus high, and you have all of these features: plus minus high, plus minus low, you have plus minus back, you have plus minus tens. All of these features, as the name implies, they help in distinguishing sounds from themselves. Okay, but you must understand that you can use one feature for both consonants and vowels. That is the uniqueness about um, distinctive features. So we can categorize vowels and consonants together using one distinctive features. For example, plus back. If we say plus back, then we can use that plus back to categorize back vowels and the velar. Okay, so you can see that we sounds this features can categorize sounds together. All right, so we have plus back, we have tens, we have plus or minus rounded, we have plus or minus nasal. That should be very easy because we just have three nasal sounds. Okay, every other sound, they are minus nasal sounds. Then we have, last but not the least, we have, not the least, of course, not the least, manner of articulation features. We have looked at major class features. Don't get it twisted, okay? Don't get it twisted. We have looked at major class features. We have looked at cavity features, under which we have anterior and coronal. Now we are looking at manner of articulation features, which will include continuant. I explained to us in the class what plus continuant is or what minus continuant is. When we talk about plus continuant, then we are talking about sounds that you can continuously make. Airflow is coming out from the lungs without any blockage. Okay, plus continuants are also called plus or minus interrupted. So use that continuant interrupted to describe sounds that air continuously flows from the lungs. And I gave some examples in class, like plus continuant will include um fricatives, will include your fricatives. I explained all of that in class. Okay, I explained all of that in class. Okay, then we have our minus continuants. Major class features include what and what plays. Major class features include sonorants, vocalic, and consonantal. Three major class features. Three: sonorant versus substrate, consonantal, and vocalic. Okay, thank you, Precious, for that question. So, manner of articulation, when you talk about continuant, just explain that it is manner of articulation feature. Okay, it's a manner of articulation feature. Then, are we still together? Are we still live? If you can still see me, can you just let me know? Are we still together on this live? You can see me now. Are we still together? Just let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Okay, let me know so that I know whether to continue. Please, those that are online, give me a thumbs up, please. Thank you. Okay, Tony, you're welcome. Jessica Cromwell. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me? Can you hear me, see me? Oh, VA Austin, you're welcome. Jessica, you're welcome. All right, Precious, I guess I've answered your question that the major class features are three. There are three, okay? There are three in number. There are three in number. Okay, thank you. Give me a thumbs up, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so then finally we have the source features. I'm about to enter the second segment of today's live stream, which is our AOC, because we're running out of time. Okay, so we have features, source features, which will include voicing. When we talk about source features, then we are talking about the presence of vocal cord vibration, which is plus minus voice. Then we also have stridents. Okay, so these are the features that you should just be very familiar with. It's not that you go and be saying a plus minus affricate or plus minus. They will tell you to describe a sound. You say plus minus kilonkwe. You say plus minus bilabia, plus minus plosive. No, there are some specific features that you are expected to use when you are describing sounds. Consonantal, those are the major ones. Consonantal, vocalic, sonorant, upstrength, high, back, low, front, voice, continuant, anterior, coronal. These are the specific features that you should get familiar with. Okay, when we talk about distinctive feature, you're trying to describe sounds. All right. So moving forward, after looking at Chomsky and Halley's distinctive features, we now went further to explain. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, give me a like, please. Ejo, give me a like. Okay, so we now went further to look at um, syllable division technique. Syllable division technique. Okay, it's called syllable division technique. Don't get it mixed up. Which is what? Maximal onset principle. MOP. Maximal onset principle. This is coming out in your exam. Maximal onset principle. What does this principle say? Now, before you can give examples or before you can divide a word into its constituent parts, before you can divide a word into its constituent parts, you must understand this principle. Nobody's going to tell you to define what maximal onset principle is, but you should know the definition. You should know the definition. Okay? You should know the definition. You should not just cram the definition. You should not just know the definition. You must understand the definition so that when you are faced with words, when you are faced with certain words, you are asked to use this principle to divide certain words. It will be a piece of cake for you. Okay? So when we talk about maximal onset principle, it means that um, you divide a word into its, remember, more than monosyllabic word, or you can't divide a monosyllabic word. So you're talking about disyllabic, then trisyllabic, polysyllabic words. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So when you divide a word and prioritize the onset of the following syllable, you pay attention to the onset of the following syllable. Okay? As long as it obeys the phonotactic rules of that language, in this instance, English language. Okay, so we are dividing a word into its constituent parts and prioritizing the onset of the following syllable. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, please. Okay, and comment if you are understanding, or if you want me to stop, you want me to go back, you want me to repeat. This is, I mean, this is your live stream, this is your time, because you're not going to have another opportunity. We're not going to meet again, okay, until the exam day. We're not going to meet again. So, and I know this phonology, this course is on the 1st of April. We're not going to meet again, okay? So you can ask your questions, you can ask your whatever you want to ask now, or forever hold your peace. Is that rain? Is that rain? It's not rain, is it? No, it isn't. Looks like it's going to rain. Okay, so you pay attention to the fact that the division of your the breaking down of your words must be in line with the phonotactic rule of that language. How you combine sound following the C0 to 3, VC0 to 4 rule, the phonotactic rule. Okay, so you don't just say, okay, they say we should prioritize the onset. Anytime you see consonants at the end of the first syllable, you just pack all of them. No, no, no. You're gonna miss it. Okay. So you will have to transcribe. You are going to transcribe in the exam. Yes, you are going to transcribe your answers. Okay. You're going to transcribe your answer. If you are given words to break into the constituent syllable, paying close attention to the maximal onset principle, you will have to transcribe. If not, you'll miss it. Okay, you will need to transcribe. If not, you will miss it. Okay, so you prioritize the onset. For example, when I get to the area of concentration, I'll give you an example, so that you will have an idea of how your exam is going to look like. Okay, so this syllable division technique, MOP, maximal onset principle, is about prioritizing the following syllable. Okay, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Thank you. Then we also looked at SSP, which is a sonority sequencing principle. This is also coming out in your exam. Yes, it is. It is coming out in your exams. Sonority sequencing principle. Now, within a syllable, sounds are arranged. Sounds are arranged from least sonorous to the most sonorous. In class, I gave a list, a scale, sonority sequencing scale. If I were you, I will go and look at that sonority sequencing scale closely. It is coming out. It's coming out. Okay. I know some of you will be saying that, ma, everything is coming out. No, I'm going to give you areas that are coming out by at the end of this, towards the end of this video, and we are approaching the end. So stay on, please. Okay, so sonority sequencing principle has to do with movement or how sounds are arranged. Okay, this is also a technique of knowing how you combine sounds. Okay, so we are talking about sounds are arranged from the least sonorous. When we talk about sonority, we are talking about how loud a sound is. Okay, and we know that within a syllable, the loudest sound there is the vowel. So sonority moves towards the vowel, which is the loudest sound, and it reduces towards the edges away from the vowel. Sonority moves towards, sonority increases towards the vowel and decreases away from the vowel. And there is a scale that I gave in class. I'm going to give the scale now, okay? In case of those of you that were not in class or you are not familiar with the scale. So the scale, I'm going to move from the least sonorous to the most sonorous. Okay? From the least sonorous to the most sonorous. So we have the least sonorous is the plosives, which are also called the stops. They are always far away from the vowel. They are always far away from the vowel. Okay? Are we following? Let me know if we're following. Give me a thumbs up and a like, please. Thumbs up and like. Please comment if we are following. Oh, comment if we are following. Okay, so the least sonorous, they are the plosives. They are the plosives. When you see a plosive and other consonants, just know that the plosive is going to be further away, that the other consonant will be closer to the vowel. Okay, so the least sonorous is a plosive. Take that down. Okay, we are looking at the scale. The least sonorous is a plosive, which will include, you know, your plosive now, your six plosive, your six plosives, PB, TD, G, P, B, T, D. Okay, your six plosive, they are the least sonorous. What follows next is the fricatives. Okay, the fricatives, they are also the least sonorous. It's not the least though, but they are not as bad as the plosives. Okay, they are not as less sonorous as the plosives. So we have the fricatives. You know your fricatives. We have the nasals. We have the nasals. We have the liquids, followed by the glides, and finally the vowels. So that is the scale. That is the scale. So that when you are given a word and you are asked to transcribe that word and to break and to explain using one or two of those words, explain the sonority sequencing principle, you should be able to do that. Okay, so we have the stops, we have the fricatives, we have the nasals, we have the liquids, glides, and vowels. Stops, fricative, nasals, liquid, glides, and vowels. So these sounds, this scale are used to explain that sounds are arranged from the least sonorous to at the edges to the most sonorous at the center. Okay, so sounds rise in sonority towards the vowel peak and they fall after the vowel. So sonority falls to the edges of the word, but rises to the center. Falls to the edges, rises to the center. Falls to the edges, rises to the center. Okay, I hope you are following. All right, I guess you are. So if I were you, I will give an acronym of this scale, okay? And the smart ones would have already written the acronym SFNLGV. SFNLGV. Type it. Let me tell you the meaning of that. SFN. S F N L G V. S F N L G V. Now I'm focused on this topic because it's coming out. I've already said my question and it's coming out. Okay. So that's the acronym. That's the, it will make you remember the sonority sequencing scale, how sonority moves from the least sonorous to the most sonorous. Okay, not from the most sonorous to the least. Oh, no, from the least to the most. Okay, that's going downwards. So you can take your arrow upward from the most sonorous to the least. Okay, so if you really want to know how to remember using this acronym SFNLGV, you just type it and I will interpret. If you can hear me, are they hearing me? Are they there at all? Are you people here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know whether these people are hearing me. Oh. You can't hear me. It's what? Pause back. Guys, you have to comment and respond whether you are hearing me or not. Oh, can you hear me right? Obukata Lorenta. Are you guys here? Let me know if I'm not talking to spirits. Okay, let me continue. Let me continue. Okay, so we have looked at MOP, we have looked at SSP, they're both coming out in exams. And we also looked at secondary articulation. One sound, two articulatory gestures. One sound, two articulatory gestures. Can you just give me a like so that we know that you are here? Okay, one sound, two articulatory gestures. One sound is the secondary articulation. Then we have the primary articulation. Okay, but our focus is on the secondary articulation. We looked at that in class where we looked at labialization, palatalization, and velarization. Labialization, palatalization, and velarization. And we explained that labialization is when you add that labial velar approximant. When you add the labial velar approximant as as you add the labial velar approximant as the secondary articulation in a word like quiet, quick, quiet, quick. Type examples. These people are not responding. Maybe they off their phone and waka. Okay, I will continue anyways. Then we have palatalization where you add the palatal approximant, where you add the palatal approximant in a word like dew, dew. Okay, then finally we have velarization. Now I mentioned pharyngealization. I said it's not common in English in most Arabic languages. Okay, we have velarization where we use the dark L. Okay, we use the dark L. Then we went over to phonological rules. Okay, and in that our final class that we had a live stream, I explained some of these symbols to you. I explained some of these symbols to you. They are self-explanatory actually. Okay, and we said that they are used to capture phonological processes. Okay, that these rules are used to capture phonological processes. Okay, I talked about the arrow, I Talked about the arrow, which means changes to become. I talked about the slash, which means you are about to describe an environment of change. Okay. I talked about the or the deletion symbol that either shows an addition of a symbol or the removal of a symbol. I talked about the syllable boundary and the word boundaries. Okay, be familiar with all of the symbols. Okay, and try to apply them to your phonological processes. Then, just before I enter, because my battery is running out, just before I enter the AOC, you would want to go back and read stress placement in words, compound words, what are simple words. Are you listening to me? You need to go and read stress. It's very simple, but I will guide you in understanding because stress rules. There is no hard and fast rule. Or how should I put it? You must learn the English words alongside the way the word is stressed because the rules, stress placement rules in English is full of exceptions. There are so many exceptions to stress English word stress placement. You put the stress here, except this, except in words like this. So many exceptions. So when learning stress, you learn the words along with the stress placement. But there are some guidelines that you must follow. Now I'm explaining this because stress comes out in every exam. So you must go and read up English word stress placement. Okay, you will have to go and read it up. When you see a word that has two syllables, of course, when a monosyllabic word, the stress is placed on the first syllable. Of course, that's one you should know. And it's either you use a stroke, upward stroke, or you capitalize the syllable that is stressed. Either of those two. Either I use an upward stroke in front or not at the back, in front of the stressed word or in front of the stressed syllable, you use an upward stroke or you capitalize the stressed syllable. Okay? So when you see a syllable that has a long vowel, it's most likely that that syllable is going to take stress. You see a syllable that has a diphthong or a triphthong, it is most likely that that syllable is going to take stress. Okay? So that is how it will help you. What I'm saying is going to guide you if you are trying to guess where the stress is. A syllable that has diphthong is most likely to take stress. A syllable that has triphthong is most likely to take stress. A syllable that has a long vowel is most likely to take stress compared to a syllable that has a central vowel. No, it's not going to take stress. A syllable that has a weak vowel, you know the central vowels, the shower vowel number 10, 11, 12. Once you see them in a word, they are most likely not to take the primary stress, except in moments of emphasis. Okay, so go back and read up stress, understand stress, both in English words and both in simple words and in compound words. Also, go and read up intonation. Go and read up intonation, the intonation types. Go and understand rising intonation, falling intonation, rising, falling, falling, rising. Four intonation types: rising intonation, falling intonation, rising, falling, and falling, rising. Okay? Go and read and understand them. They are most likely to come out in your exam. Most likely to come out in your exam. I hope you are taking notes. I hope you are taking notes. Okay, so read up intonation, read up stress, read up also the functions of intonation. Read up the functions of intonation. Okay, the functions of intonation will include grammatical function, attitudinal function, and emphatic function. So take note of these regarding intonation, that there are four intonation types: rising, falling, falling, rising, and rising, falling. 4 intonation types and 3 functions of intonation: grammatical function, attitudinal function, and emphatic function. Please take note of these concerning stress and intonation. Your classmates that are not here now, tell them so that they will not be thrown off balance. Okay? All right. So we are moving now into the second segment of this live stream, which is our area of concentration. I'm going to be very specific now. I'm going to be very specific. Are we ready now? Are we ready? Our area of concentration for phonology of English. I'm going to begin by saying that it is theory. Okay? It is not German OBJ. So thrash that. It's theory. And based on the CC mass, CC mass says that it's a 2-unit course. And because it's a 2-unit course, it's for 2 hours. 2 hours. So you're going to prepare your mind that you are going to answer the questions for 2 hours. Okay? And of course, you know that it is over 70. You know that it's over 70. Your CA is 30 marks. There are some of you that missed my test and you are there looking at me. But you had some assignments that you did. I hope you did. So you're going to be given, we have 3 sections actually. We have 3 sections. 3 sections, and you must answer questions from these 3 sections. So, in other words, it is compulsory that you answer question from a section. You must pick one question from each section. Give me a like if you have not done that, please. Thank you. Give me a like if you haven't done that. Thank you. So you have 3 sections to answer questions from one section. One question from one section. So if for example you have section A, then you must pick a question, because there will be questions there. You must pick a question from section A. You must pick a question from section B. You must pick a question from section C. Not that you want to pick 2 questions, or you will not answer question from one section. You must answer questions from each section. Okay. Okay, so like I said, maximal onset principle is coming out in your exam. Okay, you will need to know what MOP is. You will need to know what it is, and you will be asked to divide certain words. Okay, you'll be asked to divide certain words, and of course, it is only expedient that before you divide a word, you must transcribe that word. Okay, I gave some examples in class. You can use those examples to practice. Use those examples to practice. I gave some examples in class. Use examples to practice how to divide. First of all, transcribe. Then you practice how to divide. Paying close attention to what I explained. Okay, you pay close attention to what I explained. That um you must follow the rule, the phonotactic rule when you are dividing. So MOP is coming out. Then, of course, sonority sequences principle is coming out. You must be understand that scale I gave. I gave a scale. Understand the scale. Know the least sonorous. Follow the scale. The least sonorous sound to the most sonorous, and I explained that the most sonorous sound is a vowel. That vowel can be a diphthong, it can be a triphthong, it can be a monophthong. Okay, that is clear. It's certain that the vowel is the most sonorous. So once you understand MOP, maximal onset principle, that you must divide, paying close attention to I need water. Paying close attention to the phonotactic rule, you don't have any issue there. Then when it comes to sonority sequencing principle, once you know that scale that I gave you, that I said you should understand the scale. In fact, if you enter the exam hall and you see that there's a question, definitely there will be a question on sonority sequencing principle. Go to the back of your booklet and write that scale down. That scale will save you in answering that question. That scale, the the SSP scale, it will save you in answering that question. Answering that question will be a walkover. Okay. All right. Then distinctive features. Distinctive features. You must know. I explained it when I was looking at the course content. You must know the distinctive, those particular features. I did not tell you plus alveolar. I did not tell you plus bilabial. I did not tell you all those things. I told you some specific features that you must be familiar with. I told you the major class features. Sonorants versus upstrength. I told you that. I told you the what they call it now, cavity features. I told you that, and I said under cavity you have anterior and coronal. You must know what they mean. You must know the sounds that are plus anterior or plus coronal. You must know the sounds that are plus sonorant or plus upstrength, and all of that. You must know them. Okay, so you go back, know these major class features, which are sonorant and upstrength, consonantal, vocalic, um, anterior, coronal, high, back, low, nasal, continuant. Did I mention strident? One understands strident. I mentioned strident, voice. No, these features are critical for Chomsky and Halley's distinctive feature theories. Don't go and create your own and say plus alveolar, plus bilabial. You are wasting your time. Look at all what I know the smart ones are writing now. These features that I mentioned, go and understand them. Okay? MOP, SSP, distinctive features, they are coming out. MOP, SSP, distinctive features, they are coming out. Stress, intonation, you are going to have to go back and understand them. Any other thing I did not mention, you can just read it on your own, because you know I'm not the only one that taught this course. Okay? Professor Guana also taught art students. Okay? I'm letting you know I taught education. Okay, so I'm letting you know the areas you need to focus on. As your lecturer, I taught you education. So focus on these areas. You could focus on other areas. You could focus on other areas. But specifically, I have told you what I focused on. Distinctive features, those features I mentioned, MOP, SSP, stress and intonation. Focus on them. Don't bother reading history of all those history. No. Just read them for your own consumption. Okay? So I've told you the areas that I focused on and that I will need you to go and understand. So you have 2 hours to answer questions from each section. And that brings us to the end of today's live stream AOC. And I hope that I will not teach you phonology of English ever again, except you want to come in for your masters. I will teach you phonology of English. But if you go back and follow what I've said, go back to this video, keep going back, because what I've told you is literally what I have focused on in this examination preparation. Okay, so thank you for joining in. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you want to leave, you are free to leave. If you have any questions, you can ask. You can thank me. You can give me a thumbs up. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I can't see your comments. I can't see your comments. I cannot see your comments. So, except another way around it, you could drop your comments in the comment section, and at my own convenience, I will answer you. I will answer you subsequently, okay? Because presently, I can't see your comments no more. I don't know why. I don't know. I can't see your comments. I can't see your comments. But I want to believe you heard me and you were taking down notes. And okay, you could also comment your names and your mat numbers. If you can hear me, you could also comment your names and your mat numbers. You never can tell. But I can't see your comments no more. I don't know why. Okay, guys, to go. They're still there. Make una go now. When are they go out? Wait, leave first. Let me see. Have you left? Yes, leave. Let me see. Then you come back. Guys, bye. I'm done. I hope I didn't forget anything. Let me see. Okay, bye. Bye, guys. They're leaving. Hold on, they're leaving. Bye, guys. Wait, no, you come down. Yeah, they're leaving. Bye, guys. You drop your comments. I will answer you either tonight or a night before your exams. Night before your exams, I will answer you, okay? So just drop your questions, drop your comments, and we'll see some other time in the examination hall. Okay, bye. See you later. 안녕하세요, 여러분. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Bye bye now. See you in the examination hall. Bye. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Okay. See you. Bye. Go and like my videos. Go and watch them. Go and like them. Help your lecturer move to permanent sites. Some of you are here, you've not liked my videos. Some of you have not even subscribed. Some of you have not even subscribed. Go and subscribe. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and that will be a wrap, guys. Bye, guys.